We're live.
Oh, we're live. Hi.
Hello all.
So today we're talking about how to start your branding process. So if you're a new business and you're wanting to start your branding process and you have some questions, then as we're chatting, please reach out and ask us those questions.
Yeah.
And then also if you're considering rebranding or wanting to know more about how to do that, then we'll also cover that. But before we go into that, we're going to have Regan tell us about the wine she's drinking today.
Yes, so I am drinking a Cabernet from West Cape Howe. It is West Australian and it is delicious. I'm already halfway through a glass.
Is it strong?
No, not really. Merlots are normally quite heavy, but this isn't too bad.
Mm.
Yeah, it's quite yummy. See, you would know if you just had a little bit. Just a little bit. Give us a like on the video if you want to see Hayley just have a glass of wine with me every Thursday.
No, sorry. Well, I'm drinking today
Yeah, what are you
English
drinking?
breakfast tea, Lipton English breakfast tea with soy milk. That's my kind of drink.
Alright, I'm just going to double check because last week we had a problem with audio and I'm just going to see if it's working.
Yes, good idea, Regan.
Let me see. Give us 2 seconds. I think it's working.
Yeah?
Yes. Even though the internet's a little bit
Slow.
slow, I think
Okay. If
Yeah.
for some reason you can't hear us, please let us know. I can't seem to get us up on here, but
oh, there we go.
perfect.
Perfect.
Okay. So let's start with branding. So if you're a new business and you're considering, like, you know, you need to think about branding, logo, etc. Where do you start? Like, how do you know what the first thing that you should do?
Yeah, cool. So a lot of people do come to me with an idea and they're not entirely sure where to start, or they want to, obviously they've been in business and they don't have like a brand or anything developed as yet. So I send out a project form to them and it basically just lists some questions that ask them about their business, their target market, their products, services they offer, what they want to achieve, and a few other questions that sort of go in depth into their business, like images, colours, and stuff like that I like. So that sort of gives them a bit of guidance as to where their business should start, and what they should look at before they maybe even start business, or if they're already in business, what they should focus on, you know. And I've had a lot of people say it's really handy because a lot of people don't think about those questions and they just sort of go, oh, I've got an idea, I'm going to develop a product, and then they don't have a target market, they don't do a lot of market research, and it might be a really saturated market as well. So sort of answering those questions sort of shows them where is their competitive advantage, and how they can brand themselves differently to those already in the same market. So yeah, it's really handy. You filled it out, right?
So why is that form so important to you? So those questions on there, why are they so important to you?
So it's very hard, and I'm sure a lot of graphic design and branding people will agree, it's hard for us to understand someone else's business. You understand it the best. It's just like my business, CreateCon. I understand my business the best and I understand what I want to achieve with it. So if I tried to get someone to guess what I wanted to achieve with my business, they probably wouldn't hit the mark. So you know it best. It's better if you answer those questions and send it through to me. If you don't understand what I'm asking, I can work through it with you. But it comes from you and it comes from what you want to achieve with your business, because a lot of people forget this, but a business is a part of you. So you should answer from you and answer honestly as well. And it gives you a bit of insight into your business and who you are too. And that should be reflected in what you do. Services and product wise. So.
And what question is it that really gives you the most insight? And if someone fills that out, you get the most kind of content to be able to know how to brand or where to start.
Yeah, so there's a question in there that asks about your services and products. That gives me a lot of insight into what you do. And also the target market, those two are really important, like who they want to target. If you're wanting to appeal to an older market, then I'm going to steer away from like bright colours and stuff like that, you know, or steer away from more of the modern typography that we've been using, you know, that you can see there's a lot of it out these days with, like, you know, curvature fonts and stuff like that. So the most important would be, what message do you want to convey?
Yeah.
That's one of the questions in the project form, and that to me is the biggest, and a lot of people struggle because they don't know what message they want to convey. A logo, they feel, is like the be all end all, but it's not. It's what you do with a logo and how you brand the rest of your business that's important. So when you design a logo, it's a little bit different to having it's not as, I'm not going to say it's not as important. It is important, but it's not as important as developing a full brand, because that's where your message will start to come out, is within the whole brand, not just your logo. So if you look at McDonald's, Cadbury, all these bigger companies, they all have a consistent brand. They have a logo, and people obviously relate to that logo. As soon as they see it, they know, yep, that's McDonald's. Yeah. But also the colours red and yellow. You know, that's part of their brand, and the message they're trying to convey. So, and having, you know, the clown, what's his name? Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
That's all part of his brand and the message. Yeah. So a lot of people can relate to it. And yeah, as soon as you see Ronald McDonald, you think McDonald's, right? You don't think of anything else. So yeah.
So if someone, say myself, or we've got quite a few people around the team that have got their own business,
sitting down.
We've got someone sitting right there, you can't see her.
She's embarrassing.
If you've got someone new starting, what is like the first thing that I should be thinking about? What's the most important first thing that, as a new business owner, I should be thinking about rebranding or logos?
Branding and logo wise, definitely creating a brand. We have glass windows there, so everybody's walking past and we can see everything, and they're making funny faces at us. So yeah, the most important thing, branding and logo wise, it sort of depends. I would do it all together, to be honest. Like, if you're going to develop a logo, develop a brand with it, and ask your graphic designer if they don't know how to develop a brand, or they're not a brand expert, ask them if you can point them in the direction of one. Or if they're not sure of developing a brand further from just a logo, maybe seek that advice from a marketing company or something like that, because I feel like a lot of people do develop a logo and then that's where they stop. And it's very hard to distinguish who you are if you've just got a single piece of marketing, if that makes sense. So imagine it this way: if you had a logo and you had brand guidelines and everything already in place, and your website and your Facebook and everything was all the same colours, had the same images, had the same text. If I were to if I mistakenly stumbled across your Facebook page, I would know, oh, that's Hayley, because of the branding. Or if I came across a piece of marketing and it may be just an image, but it has your branding on it and logo, oh, that's Hayley. So it all sort of relates and comes together. Yeah. So I had one of my ex-employees needed some stuff done, because rebranding wise, because they've got a logo, they're a massive marketing company, but a lot of their products weren't fluent through branding, so a lot of them were scattered in all different colours, and it just didn't look neat and tidy and together. Yeah. So people coming in from the outside, when they ripped out all these booklets and magazines and brochures and stuff, they were all completely different. Okay. So confusing. Yeah, and you see it laid out on the table, and they're like, see, it just doesn't look good. And it doesn't look good, and you can't tell it's a part of that brand. So. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So what happens, what can you do if, say, for example, you haven't got the money to spend on a graphic designer, you know? In a minute, I'm probably going to ask you as well about the cost of what the average graphic designer would charge you. But first of all, if you haven't got the money, what do you think is the first step that you can do? Is there any resources that someone can use just to get something up and start the process? Yeah, so Canva's a really good site. Yeah. Even Hales has had a play in Canva. Yeah, I'm not particularly great at it, but I gave it a go. And it is good, you're right. It's quite user-friendly. Yeah, it is. It really is. And it's, like you said, easy to use, and you can create something, even if it's the colours that you're wanting, but it might not necessarily be as crisp as you're wanting it. As long as you've got something that later on down the track, when you do a rebrand, it still resembles those colours, then Canva's great for stuff like that. One of the clients that we have made their logo on Canva, and then I just touched it up for them. So, and it was perfect. It was great. Everything, every aspect of it was perfect. So, Canva's a really good place to start. Places like Fiverr and stuff, they're no problem at all. Bear in mind that they don't really do, designers on Fiverr, they don't have an insight into your business. So, for example, with graphic designers and brand developers and stuff like that, we all look into your business and the product and the services and really go in depth into the market, which is what these questions do. But for Fiverr designers, they just sort of course, they don't. That's not what they're there for. They're just there to sort of pump out logo designs, you know, specific to what you ask them. So it sort of doesn't really delve into your ideal target market or who you're trying to attract, your message that you're trying to convey. So those are good to start with, but I wouldn't. I mean, it's up to you. It depends. If it works for you, it works for you. But if you want more of a personalised logo and you really want to have a professional brand and you want to start good, I would go to someone that knows what they're doing in every aspect, which is design and logo and branding. So.
And have you had any problems come up with people that have used Canva or Fiverr or any other kind of?
Yeah, I've had a lot of people come to me for a rebrand because they've done their logo on Fiverr, and for the first year, I think they were in business, 6 months to a year they were in business, and then it sort of wasn't hitting the mark, which is what happens normally because, like I said, the designers don't delve into what you're trying to achieve, so it's very just surface level. So after a year, they sort of pondered on it, realised it's not their message that they wanted to convey, so they came to me and just got a rebrand, which was completely fine. And I didn't sort of sway too far away from the original idea. It was just, they just needed a touch up. And also they wanted it to be across all aspects, like all their social media, websites. So I developed some brand guidelines, touched up that logo, and put into place the colours, the fonts, the imagery and stuff like that.
So when you say brand guidelines, what do you mean exactly by that? So everyone kind of, I think, has an understanding of what a logo is, but actually it might be quite good to break that down. What is, how do you describe a logo, and then the pieces that go with it, like branding?
So the logo is like almost like your image. It's like your Facebook profile picture, right? That's the best way to relate it, right? So when you click onto your wall or your profile on Facebook, all the information about you is basically what brand guidelines do. So that's the best way I can sort of relate it. So a logo is just like the image. Me just gonna sneeze.
It's okay.
It's okay. You can breathe. It's fine.
You can join us if you like.
So the logo is more of just like the image. The brand is the overall feel and message. So what was the question again? Oh, break it down. Right.
Logo, brand guidelines. What exactly is brand
involved.
guidelines? Like if someone was say, look, I don't even know what that means. You know, explain what brand guidelines actually.
So brand guidelines are more for other designers. It just keeps everything together, basically. So I developed brand guidelines for Your Social Voice when they had their old logo and old branding, and it basically told us what colours was used in the logo, which is similar to a logo palette. Some people might know it as a logo palette, but these sort of go a little bit more extensive brand guidelines. So a logo palette just tells you what's in the logo, the font, the colours, the inspiration, and then brand guidelines sort of expand on that. So we look at, from a website or something like that, maybe how we can tailor brand guidelines to fit across every aspect of social media, of any print advertising or anything printed that they do. Basically, it just keeps everything together. So it includes fonts that you should use, and includes the font that's used in your logo. And then I look at other fonts that suit the logo and suit the message and suit what you're trying to, you know, if you're looking, if you're wanting, for example, like Your Social Voice is a very bold and clear logo and clear brand. So everything in their website, everything is very bold and clear. It wants to appeal to more of a platinum target market, so a lot of it is black, silver, white colour palettes.
And then keeping that consistency throughout
so
in all
just
the branding.
Brand guidelines literally list the fonts that you should use, what we recommend. You don't have to copy, you don't have to go by them, but what we recommend you should use, images that we recommend you should use, colours that we recommend you should use that relates to your logo and also flow with your logo. So not having a red and then like a really opposite colour, like keeping it all very on the colour wheel. That's a whole nother part. So
if someone was coming, you know, they maybe, okay, right, I'm going to fork out for a designer to do my logo and some branding, but obviously they're keeping things to a minimum until maybe they have some more money.
Yeah.
What would be the first thing you'd say for them to do? The one piece of maybe marketing or the one other thing, so maybe a logo, and is there something else that you think, look, they really should do this and that as well as part of that process to get the ball rolling?
Yeah, so definitely logo, obviously, start with that. It depends on where and what your target market is. If your market is predominantly online, I would suggest getting a Facebook page set up, getting a Facebook banner, and maybe a couple images tailored for your Facebook business page. So that would be the first, I reckon the first point would be Facebook banner, and just giving your Facebook page a really professional look. So then when you promote the page and you're getting your friends to like it and share, it looks good. It's not just, you know, this random page that's just popped up and you click on it and go, oh, no. So you entice people to sort of, you know.
You want it to look nice and like, attractive.
Yeah, so, and a lot of what we do, like, as people know, it's all social media based now. Everybody's on social media. So that's probably my first recommendation. If you're looking more to do, if you want to do more like network marketing style stuff, or if you find that a lot of people ask for a business card, or, you know, maybe you mention to them that you want to go in business, they're like, oh, drop your business card in, or, you know, you want to do partnerships or something like that, I would say business cards and flyers, if that's where your market is. So it's understanding what your market is and also understanding what your business is. So example, if you're starting up a digital marketing agency, you're not going to get flyers done, you know. It would be Facebook banner, anything digital would be the first point. So
that makes sense. And sorry, the reason I was writing down there is because you were just inspiring me of a few things like that you said, just some stuff that maybe we can chat about at another time as well. And maybe as I'm thinking of people that we know in the industry and like around here that may be good to get on and have a chat with them as well, their expertise, you know, and their information.
Definitely.
What's Fiona written? Oh, good. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Fiona. I'm glad. So look, don't be scared to ask any questions if there's something that's really like hot on your mind and would be valuable to you. You know, we appreciate any questions asked, and we'd love to be able to help if we can. And we've got someone very knowledgeable here, so why not use this time?
Definitely.
For guidance. The other thing I wanted to ask you is rebranding. So something that you mentioned this morning that I didn't have any idea of, but then this definitely isn't my forte. So it is rebranding, and more so as in when you're reviewing your branding and your logo and stuff like that. So so you review, like, what happens?
So
how frequently?
It's good to sort of look at your brand for small businesses every couple of years or even every year. Just have a look and see what's working, what's not working, and not only at the whole image and the brand and everything, but also system-wise. It's really good to look at your business at the end of every year. Like, a lot of small business owners will probably agree with me. It's good to do a recap on the year that's gone and what's to come, and also remember to look at, you know, the image that you're conveying, the brand that you're conveying, and look at the vision and mission and everything, you know. So that's really good. And medium to larger businesses, I would say do a refresh. Look at your websites and stuff like that. I would say every 3 to 5 years. But again, it depends. It's like larger corporations don't need to necessarily rebrand. They might, and they might take a different direction. It doesn't look like they've rebranded to us, but they have. So, for example, RAC did a massive rebrand. I think it was last year or the year before. And they kept all the same colours and everything. They just changed the logo. So it's a bit of a refresh. And McDonald's don't necessarily change their logo, but they do rebrand, they retarget, and they have a look at what's working, not working. Like, they brought in the healthier food options. That's a complete change of direction. So yeah, it's good to look at your brand and business as a whole. Smaller businesses, I recommend every year. Like your social voice, after the first year and a bit, we started to realise that we wanted to more target platinum level clients. So then we sort of changed the branding to suit that type of feel. So
your direction could potentially change, and therefore you do need to review and
exactly.
And
so that's why it's good to look at it after a year or after even 2 years of being in business, and just see what's working, and maybe your whole target market has shifted, or your message or your products or services is shifting a little bit, and brand accordingly and change your brand accordingly to that.
Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah.
Another question I had was pricing. Do you know? I don't know how much you know within the whole industry, etc. I know that it can be huge differences in pricing,
Mm-hmm.
but is there, if someone's starting out, what kind of pricing? If you can answer this, I don't know. Should someone be looking at spending and on what?
This is a tricky question
Yeah.
because a lot of people don't have a big budget, and I completely understand that because I'm a small business myself. But a lot of people discredit the importance of developing a brand early. And I was saying, we did training this morning on this for the guys in the office, and I was saying this morning, if you quickly establish a logo and a brand and you spend 2 years building that, and then you find, hang on a sec, it's not actually what I want, and you rebrand and change your whole image, you've just built 2 years up on a brand that you no longer like. So now you're going to go and change it all.
Yeah, such a good point.
Yeah, so it's important to get it right. You don't have to get it right the first time, but try and get it as close to being right. And that's where going to someone that really delves into your business and who you are is important, because they're going to reflect who you truly are.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people don't like some of the stuff that they hear, and a lot of people don't like the direction it's going, but that's their business, So a lot of people don't know how to take themselves out of it and look at it from the opposite way. So if you were the customer, how do you want it to see? How do you want it to be portrayed? How do you want your business to look? So a lot of people just don't do that disconnect. Cost-wise, it depends. You've got a lot of these larger marketing companies that have teams of people that work on logos and stuff like that, and they're going to be charging, in the thousands. If you are looking into getting logos and stuff done, I would go to someone that's medium to small based, only because you're 9 times out of 10 chatting to the designer, and that to me is important. Not chatting to someone who's going to go back and relay the message and might relay it wrongly. Like you never know.
Yeah.
So I would look at someone small to medium, check out their portfolios and just see what type of work they've done, what industries they've done it for. If you're a fitness industry, maybe look for someone who's done a lot of fitness logos or done a lot of that target market, And a lot of creatives do have Instagrams that you can go and have a look, or Facebooks or portfolios that you can check out. Sorry, my phone's just, So, I would, and expect to pay, when you get if you go to a bigger marketing company, expect to pay in the thousands. That it's not uncommon. I see a lot of posts on a couple of the groups I'm in, and a lot of them are like, I got quoted 15 grand for a logo, a website, and something else. And I'm like, that's not unusual, because they're a huge marketing company and they have maybe a team of 5 people working on it. So it's going to be that.
Forget how much input and time and effort it does take to go into it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you battle with, like as maybe a new business owner, you're kind of thinking to yourself, there's part of you that just wants to get something out there. Just get it out, because you just got to start somewhere and not to wait. And then there's that other side where you want it to be all right, all perfect, and have all the branding and stuff like that. So you could be on this kind of complete, never get anywhere if you don't just get something out there. But it's so right, you want to get that branding first, correctly first. Do you have any recommendations of like what to do in that situation, or maybe is there, give yourself a time frame, get something up, and then if you're going to stick to that, try and get something within the first month, or I don't know.
That is tricky. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. If you're wanting to get something up and out there, definitely do it. Like that's what I said last week, is just start and just make a start. And if that means getting a Fiverr logo design done, then go for it. That's completely fine. But just don't forget it. Like, don't forget that that's important, and don't let it sit and go, I'll just sit on it and wait until I've got enough money to develop it. If you get the funds, definitely develop it straight away. That's
as
my
a priority.
As a priority, and make sure it's something that whoever you're working with, they understand what you want, and they're understanding your vision, and they're understanding the vision, not only your personal vision, but the vision you have for your business, and they're able to help you create it, So that would be my point of advice. But a lot of people don't. Business is hard. Like, you're a small business starting up, it is hard. And if you have a product or service that's in a saturated market, it's hard to sometimes get customers and clients and stuff like that. So I understand it is hard, it is tricky, but make it a priority. Put it on your goals. Like, you create a vision board, which is what Howes and I were saying last week, and on that just have a goal to say, right, I've got to save up for a branding package. Make that a priority. A lot of people prioritise other things, you know, over that, and it's, don't get me wrong, everything else is important, but it should be equally important.
It's so true. You're investing in yourself, in your business, and your passion, and your purpose, and everything like that. So I agree. It's really
exactly. And that's the thing, you've got to think about it as, like, I think about my business as my baby, like, pretty much. I know it's cliche, but it is. It's your heart and soul, and you're putting a lot of work into it. So it's just like having a child and not putting them through school. So
having a child,
just having a child, you know. Obviously, it's a little bit different, but that's just the way I sort of relate to it a little bit. It's like, it's important. You put a lot of effort into it. Why not give it the best start possible?
Oh, I love that. That's brilliant. And I don't know if there is anything like this, but if you're looking for a graphic designer, obviously, apart from you, everyone should go to Regan. She's awesome.
Not everyone thinks. I'm a single man operation over here.
So if people can't come to you, for example, where can they go to look for a graphic designer? Where can you find the right people?
Yes, that's an interesting question. I don't know. That's a good question, because I don't really know if there's any forums or anything like that. I know that there's groups for ladies, like there's like-minded bitches drinking wine. Hey, how you going? So, and then Perth goal boxes. There's a lot of like stuff like that. But advertising wise, I would jump on Facebook. A lot of what I do with Instagram, whenever I'm looking at other creatives, I just type in hashtag creative or hashtag graphic design or hashtag small business Perth, and just have a look and see what pops up. And then that way you can see their work as well. But
check out the work first.
Yeah, check out the work first. Yeah, recommendations would be, I know a lovely lady, you know her too, Sharmini. She's really, really brilliant. I 100% will back her work. She's amazing at what she does, and she has a passion for it. Try and find someone that has a passion. And I'm talking about the ladies that stay up to 2 a.m. in the morning and you get emails from it, that's passion. So try and find someone that has a passion that will work not endlessly on just your project, but you can really tell when you meet with them that they have a love for what they do, and you'll find more heart and soul goes into it. And they care more.
Exactly, and that's what I was just going to say, and that's why, like, obviously, I know we know each other, but you know, when I first thought, I wouldn't want anyone else to do mine, for example, because I know how much detail you go into knowing that person, knowing about them, knowing what they truly like, and that makes such a huge impact on the final product and what you have, because it's so relatable to them and their brand and to the message that they're putting out there.
Yeah, exactly. And normally you can get a vibe from a person when you first meet them. I always meet with my clients. I've never developed someone's logo or brand just from an email. So I always schedule an appointment and go and see them, just so I can chat to them and get a feel for who they are and what business, and you know, you can ask questions and you can vibe with them, and I get along with all my clients. I love all my clients. So yeah, and you create new relationships, and I look at it as relationship building. I never look at it as just another client. So a lot of my clients I do meet with, and I do go and chat to and spend time to, and I email back constantly, and it does take time to do all that, but at the same time it's brand developing. Like, I'm developing my brand, and I want my message of my business to convey passion and vision and all the rest. So yeah, that's basically, I put in those little bit of extra details because that's what I want my brand to convey, you know. So, and
what you said about the groups, you know, like, you know, we have obviously Perth groups, but you can have national, international groups, but obviously national might be more easier. That's a good way. So if you're not already in a group, then having a look, asking people within your industry or peers what groups there are that they really like and highly recommend, and within those groups you can go and ask that question, because they're generally really receptive, and they if you've got a question and it's about recommendations, you get a ton of replies on recommendations, and then it's up to you to go and have a little look and see if that person resonates with you or not.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. And those pages are good because they're normally the business owners are the ones that are on there. And I'm all about supporting small businesses. Like, if you can find a designer that has, like, just think of it this way: if it's a lady or a man, you're talking to the designer. They have a family, or they have people behind them, and they're doing the work to support that. You know, so. I always like the motto of supporting small businesses, but also think about if you do support a small business, you're backing that person's passion as well, because 9 times out of 10 they're passionate about it. I hope. You know, you never know, but they're passionate and they've got, and you'll just get a different experience in going to a big marketing company or someone who is quite well established, who has a lot of employees and teams that work on different things. And also do your research on people as well. Like, you'll be able to tell from the content that they produce what type of person they are. And the logos and stuff, like, you can just see if there's effort involved or if there's not, or if they use generic images or, you know, styles and stuff like that. So
actually, one of the questions I'm going to ask you is, do designers do like a consultation or anything like that, so that you can kind of have a chat about what you're looking at, and to seeing if you kind of connect with that designer, and if you're feeling like they get you, and if so, whether you go with them or someone else? Is that something?
I offer that.
Do you?
Yeah,
okay.
So I always meet and have an appointment and chat to them.
Okay.
Sometimes, I mean, I've had a couple of clients that I've turned down because I just don't understand what they're after. And you try your hardest, but sometimes you just get that feeling that you're just not going to mesh well. So yeah, I've had a few clients that I said, look, you know, maybe it'd be beneficial to go to someone a bit larger because it might be a big project and I can't really handle it because I'm a one-man band basically. Like, I do everything myself. So yeah, I've had some situations where I rocked up and I've just been like, no,
not for me.
No, I went to a massive construction company once. And I was under the assumption that they were quite small because they didn't have a good brand. And it wasn't really developed. So when I went on the website and Facebook and stuff, it was sort of scattered, and I thought, oh, they must be just starting out, or maybe they're just a medium business. And the office was huge, and there was like wood floors and glass, windows everywhere, and it was like, walking into like a lawyer's office or something, you know, like a big corporation. I was like, wow. So
and it just wasn't, you didn't gel with it.
No,
and it
like,
wasn't for you.
they were asking me to do marketing strategies. That's something I don't really do. Marketing plans, logo like redesign, branding redesign, and stuff like that. And I was sort of like, I can definitely take the challenge. And if I wanted to, I could, because I do have a marketing background, so I can develop marketing plans and strategies. But at the same time, I just wasn't feeling it. Like, it wasn't sort of something I wanted to delve into. So they did email me, and I did email them back a quote, but I just said, look, you might be better if you go with someone a little bit larger, because it is only me, I'm being honest. I don't outsource anything, so it is only me. So it's a big project.
And that's so important. I think you can get as a real feel for if someone's genuine, if you're going to gel, if you're going to work together, if it's right for you, and also for you to look at someone and be like, yes, like, authentically I can help you or not. And then also for anyone else looking at getting a designer, you know when you meet with someone whether they're a right fit for you, whether they get you, whether you feel like they're really interested and passionate about what you're doing. You know that's always go with your gut feeling, I think. Let me just check if there's any other questions. I haven't.
If anyone's got any questions, just post them in the comment section.
Yes, and we'll get back to you.
You can also message us individually if you like.
Of course, we'd be happy to help.
Of course. Yeah.
So before we leave, is there anything you feel that we haven't discussed that might be beneficial to bring up for someone now? We've covered quite a lot. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of info there. My biggest points would be definitely look into the designer that you're going to go with, like graphic designer. See if they can help you with your brand as well. I mean, if you can get the full package, do that. That's probably the best thing to do, because it will all be done in one hit, and it's done, it's over with, it's one payment, done. Like, it's just one of those things you can just tick off your list. So definitely looking to see if they can do your brand development. If they don't, they normally have someone they can recommend. And yeah, that's probably the biggest point of advice I would give. And what else have we covered there? Do we have questions?
We just, literally, I think we've covered.
Yeah, and also another one would be to just look at your brand every couple of years, and not only your brand, not only the shell of the company, but look into it as well, like your systems and everything. So
really important. Yeah.
So yeah,
we've got people walking past now, making funny faces at us. So listen, we're finished now. Thank you so much, Regan. That was so valuable for me.
I didn't really talk to Hales much, but
no, that's good. I'm taking it all in. This is great. Thank you.
It's okay. She hears this all the time. Always me babbling on about brand and logos.
I love it though, because I'm learning so much, and that's why we wanted to share this with you, because we have these conversations in the office and we chat about businesses and starting a business and other businesses. So we thought it'd be a really good idea to share that with you, and that's why we really want your input as to what you feel would be really helpful for you in your business, whether a new business or an existing business or whatever that may be. So thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you soon.
We'll see you next week. Give us some ideas as well on what you would like to sort of chat about or see us chat about next week. Maybe we can do something more Hayley orientated.
Or we can bring in other people, or bring in our great colleague Jared. We would like to.
We actually are. We're going to have Jared next week from Stomping Ground Coffees.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stomping
Ground Coffee.
She doesn't know your
name. He's just walking out the door. But he's going to be on as a guest, and yeah, I reckon that would be interesting, especially for the ladies.
I'll enjoy that.
Yeah. Awesome, guys.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Oh, how do I?
Just got to learn how to turn it off.